Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Luck We Had, a Shameless recap podcast, Season 2!
Season 2!
I'm your host, Amanda.
And I'm your other host, Evan. Welcome back, everybody, or if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome.
Yes, for our listeners that are tuning in for the first time for Season 2, this is a podcast where Evan and I, who are just super fans of the Showtime show, the US series, Shameless, and we go through episode by episode and break it down. And here's the thing with Shameless. We love it, we hate it, we recognize its problems, we celebrate its successes, and more than anything else, we stand Mickey Milkovich in this house. That is pretty much what we do in this show, and now I'm going to cut to a previous 8-minute segment or less where Evan and I are talking about what's happening in the filming of season 11, and that's going to insert here. For context, because we never know the state of the world and what's going on, we are recording this on September 14th, hoping to release it sometime in October. If anything terrible and awful has happened between now and October, we don't know it yet because we're in the past.
We don't know.
We're in the past, and we will address whatever that thing is in the future. But in this point in time, Chris Evans accidentally released a dick pic on Instagram.
I love that man so much.
And we are in, I think, like week 2 of Shameless season 11 filming, and the only pictures we've gotten are from the little girl that plays Franny, and we love that.
Shout out to her for giving us content.
And Shinola has just been dry as a bone. Zero pictures of Noel so far. Like 2 pictures of Cam, 0 pictures of Noel.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like, what did we hear that season 11 is going to focus on? I heard it's going to be like COVID and then also Black Lives Matter, right?
Oh, I don't. How are they going to? It's all white people and V and
yeah,
Liam.
That's exactly what I had to say. I forget where I saw that, but I feel like maybe Lena told me that or something else, but I heard that they're gonna maybe deal with the Black Lives Matter movement. But I'm just like, I'm sorry, you mean the 2 recurring black characters? Are they gonna take control? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're trying to fit a lot into this last season, and I feel like they should just choose one issue to deal with, because then it's just gonna feel like they're just cramming like every detail that happened in 2020
or just focus on the family. You can pretend that the real world isn't happening in your show because it's
not
fiction.
like they've been consecutive with what's happening in real life the last 10 seasons.
Yeah,
but they're like, no, the last season, let's do everything from 2020.
I understand shows incorporating COVID in so that they can incorporate like PPE protocol within the show. Like Grey's Anatomy, which is a medical drama, is incorporating COVID because they're like, we're not going to ignore the biggest medical issue of the year in our medical show.
Exactly. That makes sense because it is a medical-based focus show. Shameless. What?
You can just pretend it didn't happen. You can just pretend it didn't. Like, they edited out Mickey talking shit on Trump for Darth Vader. They're pretending that the real world isn't there. So,
yeah.
But yeah, literally not. Noel hasn't posted a black hair selfie. No fuck you up hands yet.
We are getting a bald Kevin, I saw.
Did he shave his head again?
Yes, Steve shaved his head.
So are they going to try to give us a summer season? Because he does that in the summer. Weird.
Because I feel like Kev's hair has been pretty short within recent seasons.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like otherwise no one's really posted any content. Like, freaking, normally Emma is, like, up on that shit, and I've seen maybe, like, 1 photo of her from set so far.
They probably also told her no more photos because she's the one that accidentally told us Mickey was coming back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That infamous picture from her dressing room where in the background you could see pictures of Mickey's tattoos, and everybody's like, what the fuck are those about? So, like, everybody knew he was showing up in season 9 before he showed up in season 9. I'm sorry for everybody that's tuning in that we're talking about what's happening in Shameless, but, like, we're very excited that the final season is filming.
Excited.
What are your wishes for the final season? Because everybody's like, oh, I hope that, Sheila comes back. No, I hope that Sheila is living her life over there and we never see her again.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be brought back. As much as I would love it, she doesn't deserve that.
I do hope we at least get, like, Fiona FaceTiming them.
Yeah.
Like, I hope Emmy does something. Like,
yeah.
Or like, Fiona FaceTiming and Jimmy Steve comes into the frame because she found Jimmy Steve and they're together now. Like,
Oh my
that's
god.
in my head. That's what I want. I'll never stop shipping them. They're my number 2 ship till the day I die. They're incredible.
I don't know. I really don't know what wishes I really have because I don't know. The way Shameless is brought up is that like you have these characters that are trying to exceed these goals or do these things, and more than not, it doesn't work out for them because that's just how that show is like kind of just structured. But I don't know. I don't want them all to live that fairy tale life. I don't want like everything to be picturesque because everyone's still got all their damn demons every which way. So I don't know. I just want them all to be in like a comfortable position more than anything. Like Ian and Mickey vibing at like their maybe their own place. Like because now we got. Sorry for a spoiler ahead and stuff like that, but we got Lil Lip and Freddie, and then fucking what's his bitch ass girlfriend's name?
Tammy.
Fuck Tammy. That's how much I don't like her. But then we got that whole Tammy situation, so I hope they at least get into like a comfortable position and like I don't know. We left with freaking Debbie in such an awkward position that like Debbie's just vibing at this point. Like Debbie's just doing her own thing. She's primetime womanhood. Like I don't know. Like I feel like she's gonna more so get herself in a Fiona arc in a sense that they're gonna like set her up to kind of be like tough woman. She's gonna take charge and do something with her life. Maybe with the season, like have her maybe start to actually be like a grown up. But I don't know. It's very confusing, especially for like Debbie and Carl, because like all of their plot lines haven't prolonged throughout this series. It's like it's something new every which way. So like I don't know where they're gonna go because I feel Shameless hasn't known where they're gonna go for the last 10 years.
You're doing good,
So,
Evan. You're working your ass off here in
yeah,
COVID times.
yeah, I'm doing good. Working at Starbucks as always. Just putting in my time there, making as much money as I can, especially with a pandemic still going on.
Yes. I am out here spending my time bothering people on TikTok who even vaguely post about Shameless to
Mm,
talk us up. And for that reason, I would like to give a shout out. I already do edit them on my TikTok. I would like to give a shout out to TikTok user Vroken Hearts, VROKENHERTZ, for commenting or responding to my comment and making a video promoting our show.
yes, thank you so much.
I would like to also thank TikTok user Riley Hawk and
Riley, I love you so much. I love her.
I believe their Instagram is the same on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
They also have a Galovich
Galovich Queen.
Instagram account.
Yeah, and I would like Galovich Queen to know that we deeply appreciate your promo of us on YouTube and on
Yes.
Instagram and on TikTok. It's thank you so much for that. We would like to get as many Shameless viewers into this as possible. That's why I've been going on Shameless Facebook pages and bugging everybody. I've been going on my Stan Twitter and bugging everybody. That's right, I have a Stan Twitter that I haven't promoted on this show because I think my family listens to this show, and I'm trying to keep a little bit just they don't need to see all that.
They don't know.
They don't need to see all that. But yeah, I thank you all for your promo. Like I said, we are now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Yes.
Stitcher, SoundCloud, and I started posting a video that's got just our logo and this audio on it on YouTube under the Luck We Had Pod. So we are on
Beautiful.
we're on so many platforms.
We're on so many platforms, so there is not you have to have at least one.
Yes.
So
And
so
if you listen to us on any of these platforms, I don't think it's an option on Stitcher. I think you can subscribe to us on Stitcher, but on all the other platforms, if you could subscribe and rate and review us, especially on Apple Podcasts, the rating and the reviewing is so important for them to
it helps us a lot.
For them to know that we're capable of being there. We would love that. Give us 5 stars and email us. We're gonna tag everything at the end, but tag Instagram, Twitter, and email us luckwehadpod. Just talk to us. We want to hear from you guys.
To us, please. We want to hear it all.
We want to hear from you. But what do we want to hear from them about? We want to hear from them about what they think on the episode. And do we want to talk about what we think about season 2, episode 1, Summertime?
I think so.
Fuck yeah, let's get into it, baby. We need intro music, but let's get into it.
We'll get back to that.
If anybody out there wants to throw together an intro for us, hit a bitch up.
Jingle.
Season 2, episode 1. We're entering a summer season, y'all.
season. I love summer seasons.
This episode is called Summertime. The first 2 episodes are called Summertime and Summer Lovin'. They're just like, summer, it's summer.
Yeah, just to let, if you guys didn't know, it's gonna be a summer season.
So, Summertime is the name of this episode. It aired on January 8th, 2012. So, while we were all inside freezing, cuddled under blankets, they are out
Summer!
sweating in the 90-degree Chicago heat. Because that's how it works. Because they're filming now, so I'm guessing it's going to be a fall into winter season. That's probably going to
Yeah,
air at
depending
sometime
how
next
long
summer.
their fucking season's gonna be.
And if they get to shoot the whole season, maybe we'll only get half of it. Who knows?
Who
Because
knows?
shows like, I know like Supernatural just finished filming, but like there's so many shows that are sprinting to get stuff done.
Yeah,
before they
Supernatural
get
only
shut
had to
down.
film like 7 episodes, and they filmed that like in a week.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, boom, and we're done.
Oh, sorry. Side note: nobody cares about Supernatural here except us. Or maybe some listeners. Jared and Jensen both got to take home an Impala, and that makes me so happy.
Misha didn't say shit, and I was like, "What'd that boy get? Give my man everything."
He probably got a bunch of his trench coats or something.
You know that man's never gonna wear a trench coat ever again.
But
No,
back to
I love that they
Shameless.
both got an Impala. That makes me so happy.
But anyway, sorry about that sidestep. Back to Shameless. So yeah, this episode aired on January 8th, 2012. It was written by Paul Abbott, John Wells, the creators of the show, and LaToya Morgan. She's listed as like a staff writer on it, but I wanted to include her. We've spoken about Paul and John before. Paul created the original series. John created the US version. They both wrote the pilot in episodes 2 and the finale of season 1. And yeah, that's them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they created the show. That's all you care about.
LaToya Morgan, she has written previous episodes before. She's credited as a staff writer on 12 episodes through 2012, so through last season and this season. I think she wrote episode 9 last season.
Oh, nice.
She wrote 15 episodes of the show Parenthood. Love it. She was a producer, writer, and story editor on the shows Turn, Washington Spies. My parents love that show. She wrote 4 episodes of a show called Into the Badlands and 1 episode of The Walking Dead.
Nice.
And this episode was directed by another person we've seen before, Mark Mylod. He directed the pilot, episode 9, episode 12. He did 12 episodes of Shameless through 2018, which was season 9, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He directed the pilot and episodes 4 and 5 of the British Shameless. He's also done shows like Secession, Entourage, United States of Terra, and 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, those are all incredible shows.
Yeah, no, those are really like hefty shows.
United States of Terra is great. If you enjoy something like that, one woman playing who has like dissociative identity disorder, I encourage you to take it up a notch and watch the show Orphan Black, in which Tatiana Maslany plays no less than 10 different versions of a clone, sometime just in a scene where it's just them. So she's doing a scene by herself 7 times. It's remarkable. Please watch it.
I remember my mom used to watching that United States of Terra. Like, I remember seeing the couple episodes just being like, what the fuck?
It was a victim of the writer's strike for sure, though, because it ended like super abruptly.
I have like the one vivid memory of one of her alters was like a really butch lesbian, and it was like her waking up in a bed next to a woman being like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "What are we watching?"
Yeah, that was Buck the Trucker. Yeah, that was something else.
I love that.
But in this episode of Shameless, sorry we keep getting off on tangents. We both had coffee. It's been a few weeks since we've recorded. We're getting back into the swing of things. It's chaos here, 24/7. I feel like I want to slow down a little bit. Okay, but the synopsis of this episode, Evan, is Frank surrenders baby Liam as collateral in a lost bet. Fiona thoroughly enjoys her youth as a bartender at a local hotspot, the club she works at. Sheila takes steps to finally leave the house.
Queen.
Debbie runs a daycare with Carl. Ian's business expands. That is the most thorough, I think, synopsis they've given us thus far.
Yeah, and it's like not just focused on like 3 characters. It's like we're getting a little bit of everyone. What are they up to and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the previously on, of course, is done by Frank. They're still centering William H. Macy so far. And Evan, what did we get a recap of from season 1?
Well, we got a lot to recap on in season 1. So, first of all, we get reminded of Jimmy, Steve, and Fiona's love. Frank being an alcoholic, as always. Their money struggles, and that Fiona rejects charity from Steve every which way. That Fiona fucked Tony, but we like to ignore that part. Ian is gay and was fucking Cash, who was also blackmailed into having another baby by his wife. And then Ian fucks Mickey, and they got caught by Cash. Oh my god, there's a typo, and I read it as Cash. um, and then Mickey got shot by Cash because a pedophile was mad that his boy toy was fucking someone else. Jasmine. Kevin V took in a foster, who was a teenage mom. We love Ethel. I'm so excited to see more of Ethel this season. Lip got caught taking the SATs for other kids, but then that also got him a nice hookup from this really cool college professor. Karen and Lip are a thing, but we like to ignore that thing. Frank basically lives in Sheila's house. Karen's dad is a punk ass bitch who oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sheila had a breakthrough and a queen stepped out of her house to kick out horrible Karen's dad. And then Karen fucked Frank, basically made a sex tape, and then Karen's dad killed himself over it. And then Steve got caught stealing cars and was forced out of town by Tony and tried to take Fiona with him, but Fiona didn't go.
And that's what happened last season on Shameless.
And that's what you missed on Shameless.
I know it was playing in both of our heads, and that's what you missed on. And so we get that
what a very filling season 1,
right? So we get that full previously on, and then we get our ever lovely title sequence. The wonderful theme song. I wanted to make a point of like noting at least the end music and giving credit to the title music that we've listened to all these years. Title sequence, The Luck We Got by The High Strung. Yes, it is what the title of this show is based on. Just different enough to not get hit with copyright. The Luck We Had, not The Luck You Got by The High Strung. And it's summertime, and there's a yellow filter on everything.
They tried their best.
Like in winter, it's blue. Everything's blue. On summer, everything's yellow. All of it's yellow.
But it looks like there's like smoke in the air at all times.
But at least the first couple seasons in summertime episodes are like so fun. So I'm very excited. We open on a telephone pole, and it's an old ratty missing poster with Karen's dad's face on it, and it gets like stapled over by somebody else putting up a flyer for something.
I love that.
But we go over from that in the sunshine to see Sheila outside of the house walking down the street.
I love her. She has her little clicker too.
Is there a better way to open a season than just Sheila? There isn't.
Being powerful as always.
It's magnificent. We see Sheila walking down the street and she's feeling successful, and over on the porch, Frank is watching her and becoming a little concerned of how far away from the house Sheila is starting to venture. And Karen comes outside. She's back to being blonde. She's
not a crazy bitch anymore.
She's over her daddy issues. I don't think either of them know that Eddie like unalived himself. They just think he's missing.
I don't think it was like. I think in this season they do find out, but like
at this point
they just think he like dipped.
Yeah, we know that he has been unalived, and they just think he ran away. But Karen warns Frank just exactly what we know is happening in his head. The more progress Sheila makes, the closer she gets to the outside world, where people know what kind of man Frank is. And then he'll be fucking out of there. So Frank sees the clock ticking just in the corner of his mind. But we go from that up on a motorcycle, pulls in front of the house. Jody!
I love Jody.
Oh, everybody, please enter. I'm sorry, I'm going to look up the actor's name right now because I didn't do it before, and that was stupid, and I truly, truly, deeply love this man.
Yeah, I don't know his name either.
He was also the star of a show called Black Sails. It is about pirates, and you might right away think, that's a little boring, but let me give you a little insight. First of all, for Umbrella Academy fans, Tom Hooper, Monkey Man, he is in Black Sails. And if anybody is a DC fan, the Flash's daughter, she's also in Black Sails as a bisexual sex worker turned madam who runs a brothel on this island where smuggler pirates come to do their like business with each other. And the show is so gay. The show is
That's it.
so
What's it
gay.
on?
It's called Black Sails. It was on AMC, I think. It has 5 seasons. It has an incredibly satisfying ending. The main I don't want to give too much away. The show is so gay. It is
I'll have
so
to
gay.
look it up. It sounds really good.
And while the gay characters suffer a little, they suffer the same amount that everyone else in the show suffers. And, like, there's a guy named Luke Arnold who plays John Silver. It's very, like, Orlando Bloom, Will Turner vibes from him. It's very good. There's bisexual vibes through this whole entire show. But one of the, like, bad boy, like, punk ride up on a motorcycle type of pirates, his name is Zach McGowan. He plays Jody on Shameless. He plays Captain Charles Vane on Black Sails. If you enjoy Jody in this show, I beg of you to go watch Black Sails. It is so gay. It is so
It sounds
gay.
so good. I've never heard of this show before. I'm very intrigued now.
If you like Pirates of the Caribbean and you are queer, you will fucking love Black Sails.
We gotta tell Stevie.
Yeah, it was stars. It was a star show. I wonder if Stevie knows about it. It is we're talking about Stevie Bones.
Okay.
She is a cosplayer. She is on TikTok. She is currently doing a Davy Jones cosplay and Floop from Spy Kids.
I know. I was like, I love Spy Kids.
Anyway, sorry for my long rambling. Just did a shot of espresso moment, but watch Black Sails because it stars Captain Charles Vane, Zach McGowan, otherwise known as Jody from Shameless.
Jody.
We see Jody ride in on his motorcycle. He is clearly, we established earlier that he is 30 years old, which isn't, like, awesome with the age gap, but I think at this point Karen is 18. Like, time has passed. It's been, like, at least a year since we've met her. I'm pretty sure she's 18. At the very least, the actress is. So Jody, he is Karen's friend from Sex Addicts Anonymous. He pulls up on his motorcycle. Karen gets on the back of the bike, reminds Frank that his time be ticking, and they ride off. And we hear that Sheila made it to 100 steps, and we're so fucking proud of her.
I'm so proud of her. I love her so much. 100 steps, an icon.
But from the victory of Sheila making it 100 steps, we go into an alleyway where it's a very, like, fun, like, tracking shot. We track a hose into the Gallagher backyard where the local firehouse is helping the Gallaghers fill their pool in exchange for babysitting services for some of the firefighters. It's fun. I love communities helping each other out. Also, firefighters, A+, number 1.
We love firefighters.
Firefighters are top of the list, and all cops are bastards. Firefighters are fucking incredible.
Even but except for Caleb. Caleb's at the bottom, though.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. Just in general in the world, firefighters, top of the list.
Yes.
But yeah, they're filling up the Gallagher pool because Debbie is running a daycare. Debbie the 10-year-old.
Icon, literally running an entire daycare. There's so many freaking kids in this household.
Financial head of the household, pulling in the money. And we go over from that fun summer outside in the pool to the alibi, where of course Frank is. Frank is bitching to Kev about how Eddie's pension check stopped coming, and now Sheila's house, and Sheila doesn't have as much money, and Frank's not into that. And Frank tells a guy...
Fuck you, Frank.
And in the background, there's a big, beefy man who has bragged about getting tasered twice and running away and not being affected by it. And Frank's like, that's bullshit. You cannot get tasered without pissing your pants. I bet you $10,000.
I hate Frank. He's so dumb.
I bet you $10,000 you can't get tased and not fall down. And so the man says, bet. And gets
Let's fucking go.
Twice. And does not fall down, and now Frank owes this man $10,000.
Like, out of all of the money you could have bet, $100, $200, 10,000 grand.
Idiot. But we go from that bar to another bar where Fiona and V are working as a waitress and a bartender, respectively. V is killing it behind that bar.
I love V. And
waitress Fiona, I love waitress Fiona. It's so good. I also acknowledge that, sorry, this is, we're talking about future seasons. The outfit, the, like, uniform that Fiona's wearing, the white tank top with the silver trim around it, is the exact same uniform that Ian wears as a bartender in season 4.
At Fairy Tale or whatever?
Yeah.
I love that.
Maybe his has more glitter on it, but it is essentially the same costume. They probably use the same place.
Honestly, I bet they did.
It like always gives me flashes to did you ever watch Queer as Folk?
No, I did not.
Oh, it always gave me flashes to Babylon from Queer as Folk, but they filmed that in Canada.
Oh my
Um
god.
but yeah, there's a bar. Fiona is a waitress. V is a bartender. Fiona has apparently been flirting with the cute DJ all summer, but he has not put out, and he has not given her any signal that he's even listening.
Yeah, he's just doing his DJ thing, ignoring her.
And V's like, Fiona's very hurt by it, and V's like,
Yeah.
interesting that he hasn't responded. Jasmine comes in with an older man. She's got a sugar daddy that she apparently hooks up with on the summertime when her husband is away on a camping trip or a fishing trip or something.
With the kids or something.
And the older man's wife is away somewhere. So she cheats on her husband when he's out of town, and V fucking hates Jasmine. V hates her.
Good, as fucking V should.
But we learn that in this scene, and then we get a smash cut. Lip is in a fight club. Lip is in a fight club. It's
literally like underground fight club.
Ian is his manager and his corner man, and Ian and Mandy, now played by Emma Greenwell, are his backup. Jane Levy, not pronounced like Eugene Levy. Jane Levy has exited the building. Emma Greenwell has come in.
She
this
ain't
is our
Mandy no
now.
more.
This is the Mandy we will now get to know and love. So Mandy looks a little different, a little older. It's because she is. So yeah, they're like Lip's corner men, and Lip is losing the fight.
Yeah, Lip's getting the shit beat out of him.
He's getting his shit rocked, but he keeps going. And we cut from the fight club back to the club, where Fiona is trying to flirt with the DJ again, and nothing. V teases her about it and bitches about Jasmine some more. Fiona tries to get V to come out with them later, and V says no, she has a shift at the nursing home in the morning. So never forget, V works in healthcare.
V is a working woman.
So there's an investment banker that is also at the club. He's flirting with Fiona. It seems like they know each other and that he has been her, like, summer fling so far.
Yeah, because he's being a little too much for, like, they just met. So, like, you can tell they've been, like, talking for a bit.
Yeah. And good for her. She's having a little rebound because remember at the end of last season, Steve disappeared. So Steve has been gone for a number of months now. Because last season was March. Now it's at least June. July, maybe?
So a good 6 months.
3 months.
I don't know how to count.
But yeah, so Fiona's getting her summer fling on, and good for her. And V teases them when they go to leave. She's like, "Hey, June, your school night in bed with the light out by 10." This is prime friendship time for Fiona and V, and I love it. But we cut over to Fiona, the flirty barman, Jasmine, and her old man are in a Corvette speeding down the street. Fiona's
going so fast.
Fiona's wearing this adorable little white dress that I don't know where she got it from, but it's so cute. And good for Fiona! She's having fun and being 21.
She's having a fun time.
She's just being 21 and young and fun, and she's going to work and then fucking all night. Good for her. And we go from like Fiona having fun in the nighttime, not fun in the sun, back to Ian and Mandy and Lip. They're leaving the fight, and we find out they've been making some money on the fights. And like, honestly, shout out to Lip for being a fucking real one, because they're all walking down the street and just talking about life. And Lip asks Mandy, "Is Mickey getting out soon?" And like, Lip is like looking at Ian when he asks this question. So like, he knows Ian wants to know, but he knows Ian can't ask.
Yeah.
Lip's a real one. So
Let's take one for the team.
Apparently, yes, Mickey does get out soon. That will be next episode. Ethan and I will be losing our minds. Mickey gets out soon if he doesn't stab anyone first. And he says, "You gotta be looking forward to having Mickey home again, huh?" And literally just looks at Ian over her head.
He's just teasing him. I love him.
And this poor Mandy, this sweet summer child, has no clue. She's got no clue. And she's got it bad for both of the Gallagher boys, too. I feel so bad for her. But we find out Lip is still fucking Karen. He sets up another fight with Ian, and then he heads off to Karen's. And Mandy's like, that's still happening. And Ian says he's slipping antibiotics into Lip's toothpaste in case he catches anything from Karen.
I love Lip so much, but boy, leave Karen alone.
He makes bad romantic decisions.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah. But then Ian and Mandy hold hands and start like shoving each other down the street, and like, I love best friends.
I love them.
I love best friends. This is a great trio. the Gallagher boys and Milkovich, always good together.
Always.
So Lip walks over to the Jackson house and almost gets run over by an SUV that pushes Frank out the back seat. And we hear the voice of the man Frank owes money to, saying that, like, they'll be back to collect it. And Lip's, like, looking for Karen, and Frank says Karen went out with a guy to Sex Addicts Anonymous and isn't home. And he does not let Lip in.
So yeah, he just closes the door.
He closes it right in Lip's face. So now Lip knows there's a guy that Karen is hanging out with. We go over to Fiona. She is fucking that banker guy in the grass down by the river.
Yeah, just like on a hill in a park.
It's very scenic and beautiful. Like,
it's such a nice view. Like, good for them. Goddamn.
It's great. They're having fun. They're having a good time. A little to the left in the background, Jasmine is fucking the old man. You know, they're having fun. They're adults. And the guy Fiona was hooking up with says he has to meet his boss for a run in like an hour. And then we get a little backstory on Fiona.
Yeah, I love hearing information about her.
We find out that Fiona ran track in high school. She was a distance runner, and there was a chance she was going to make state. But then Monica happened.
Fuck Monica ruining everything.
So, like, having fun in the summertime, Fiona challenges this guy to a foot race. And this shit is so fucking cute. In her little white dress, being a little summer woman, all, like, free and wild. It's so good. It's so good.
She's just running. It's such a nice view too, and it's like the sun rising and it's her running down the water. Like,
this is the most like carefree and happy we're like ever going to get to see this woman. I'm so happy for her. They like cut to a little later. They pull up in front of Fiona's house. She kisses the guy goodbye and like very like he tries to come in and she's like, no, and just shuts him down and leaves. He drives away and then we see fucking Tony coming out of the house that he scammed Steve into signing over to him. Because remember last season, Steve bought the house right next door to Kevin V's. And then when he found out he got Lip and Ian arrested, he bartered with Tony and he gave the house back to Tony.
The fact that Tony's ass moved in, like, you little bitch.
And you can tell there's like tension between Tony and Fiona. Because she knows he knows that Steve is a car thief, and he knows she knows that Steve is a car thief. And that, like, it's nothing good is happening here.
Yeah.
He says he hasn't decided if he's going to flip that house or live in it. Fuck you.
Like, we don't care, Tony. Next.
She goes inside. Fiona goes inside, sticks her face right in front of a fan like we all do when we don't have air conditioning. And Lip comes down, and he sees her, and she sees the bruise all over his face. And it turns out Lip is not always the fighter in the Fight Club. Apparently he manages fighters. But one of them, like, did not show up last night, so he had to sub in.
Sucks.
Yeah. But at least he knows. He's like, yeah, I could get my shit rocked for about an hour.
Yeah, at least he can take a fucking punch. Goddamn.
And then, again, Debbie, the 10-year-old, is running a daycare and taking care of Liam all night in their shared room.
Yeah, no, every other kid is not doing things. Debbie is. Debbie's running all that shit.
Yeah. Like, Ian has a job. Ian has a full-time job, and Lip is getting his shit rocked to pay for stuff, and Fiona's working. But, like, Debbie is running a daycare. Carl's out here just being a loaf. She starts to push Fiona because she wants her own room. Because she's, like, a growing woman needs her own room. And Ian and Lip and Carl are like, no, that would be 4 boys in one room. No fucking way Liam's moving in with us. And Fiona shuts her down. And then we go outside, out back, in Kevin V's yard, where Lip has wandered over, and sees Ethel working in a massive garden in their backyard. And it's so cute. She's so good at gardening, and she's got her little bonnet on.
And she's growing so many vegetables, and, like, I love her. Like, it's, like, you can tell, like, Kev is so proud. Like, he's so happy.
It's so cute. And Lip asks Kev if they are still on for something. And this is our first glimpse into the fact that Lip and Kev have a summer side hustle that they revive.
I love this. I love this. Their side hustle. It's my favorite.
But we get that little interaction, and we go over to the Jackson house where Sheila is singing a song and cooking because she's an angel and we love her. And we see her. She's got a map on the refrigerator. We see her goal. She wants to make it to the alibi where she thinks Frank works.
I think so, or just like she knows he's there quite a bit.
She thinks Frank works at the alibi. And then Karen catches Frank looking for money in Sheila's room, as Frank would do, because he owes someone $10,000. He thinks he's going to find that in the sock drawer. And Karen says she moved Sheila's secret stash, and Sheila is downstairs, like, desperately just calling them for breakfast. So, like, Karen is on to his bullshit. And we go back to the daycare. This episode is fucking chaotic. We go back to the daycare.
There's a lot going on.
So Fiona apparently is the figurehead. The parents think Fiona is there the whole time because a mom hands a kid off to Fiona, who still has not gone to bed. And Fiona checks in with Debbie for the schedule for the day. And Debbie's like, don't wake you up unless there is blood or exposed bone. I like that rule. So, like, Fiona's the figurehead. All the parents think Fiona is there. And then Debbie wakes her up at the end of the day for pickup time. But Debbie takes care of everybody. Fiona goes upstairs. She gets in her PJs, pulls on that fuck off eye mask, that iconic.
I just bought one.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
It's so funny.
And then she's like that. It's like that famous gif of her falling into the bed. She's out like a light. She's tired. And then we go to Ian now as he walks into work at the Cash and Grab, where Linda says that Cash did not come home again last night. And a full child, like probably 13 years old, tries to buy cigarettes. And Linda goes, how old are you? 8? Get out of here.
I love Linda.
She's very pregnant. She's at least a few months pregnant at this point. She hands the store over to Ian for the day and says, no free breakfast. And then the literal moment her back is turned, he grabs a donut and starts eating.
The moment she's out the door, he munching on it.
And just when you thought we were cash free, nope, the fucker comes through the door. He was waiting for Linda to leave like the little pussy ass bitch he is.
Little baby literally can't, like, be seen by his wife. You dramatic ass bitch.
And things are super tense between him and Ian because they broke up. You know, this grown man broke up with his teenaged boyfriend. And things are tense now at work in the professional environment in which he fucked his teenage employee. Sorry. That same child that Linda just said, get out of here, tries to buy cigarettes from Cash, and he does not even fight it. He just sells it to the kid because he's spineless. And then Linda calls him from the intercom because she's got a camera and an intercom system. And she's like yelling at him about not coming home last night. He straight up turns it off because he's an asshole.
I hate him so much.
She is now running your business and taking care of 2 of your grown children and growing another one of your children, and you're just ignoring her? Okay. You're lucky she didn't call the police on your ass, you piece of shit. And then from one business to another, Kev and Lip are getting their ice cream truck ready for their summer side hustle.
Yes.
They run an ice cream truck in which they sell beer and weed to teenage boys. But we learn later they have a code. It's great. Teenagers. Sorry, not just teenage boys. Anybody.
Yeah, it's like beer, cigarettes, like joints, and then like fireworks, and then they still like also sell like ice cream and like snacks and stuff like that. But like they got all the underground goods.
Yeah. But yeah, they're getting it set up for their summer side hustle. And speaking of a side hustle, the daycare at the Gallagher house, the timeout corner is a fucking dog crate.
Yes, Debbie.
So Debbie's managing all these little children. Frank comes in, picks up Liam, says he has to borrow him. And Debbie is like, McSqueeze you? What do you mean? Where are you going? So Frank,
you think you could take Liam?
Frank's like, he's my son, I'm taking him. And just picks up Liam and fucking leaves. Carl asks Debbie, like, should we wake up Fiona? Because this is a little concerning. And Debbie's like, there's no blood or bone. We're not waking up Fiona. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Back to the alibi. The owner who lives upstairs, who is super racist and has dementia, is losing his shit yelling all day, every day. And apparently,
he's so funny. I love this guy.
You do? Oh my god, I hate this character. Like, I understand his purpose, but I like kind of hate this character. Kev brings him up some food, and the man bitches that his electric bill is $8,000 this month, when normally it's like $1,000. And we see Kev's face, because you can see in Kev's face that he knows why the electric bill is $8,000, but he plays along with the man. He's like, oh man, I just don't know. The gist we get from this scene is Kev is in trouble, the electric bill is up, the owner is a racist. That's what we get.
Yeah, that's what we gain from this scene.
Back to the cash and grab. Someone in a full niqab, I think it's a niqab, right? That's the full body covering.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the one where like you're completely covered besides just like an eye slit. I'm not
I
sure.
believe that's called a niqab. If I am incorrect, I will insert a little bit here in my research later. Hello, recording Amanda. This is editing voice Amanda. You were correct. The full body covering with just the eyes showing is called a niqab. So someone in a full covering comes in, like makes eyes at Cash and goes straight to the back of the store. Cash tells Ian to cover the register and follows the person back into the freezer. So we are to assume they are fucking in the freezer. But at least this person looks like an adult and not a teenager.
Yep.
Like, at least height wise. We cut from that disturbing scene to Lip. He is all bloody and bruised, but he's working to get the ice cream truck up and running again with Kev. Kev says they have a problem. They need to sell some pot. And Lip's like, yeah, that's what we normally do. And Kev's like, we need to sell a fucking lot of pot. We need to sell a lot of pot. We learn that Kev used Ethel, because she has that beautiful growing garden. He used Ethel's gardening tips and her fertilizer to help grow their crop. It's an entire basement under the alibi full of weed.
I fucking love them, and they have like the UV lights, which are specifically like help for like growing like weed in like secluded areas. And man ran up that bill growing like honestly like so much pot, so much.
It's like I want to make a reference to Weeds here, but it's so funny. Justin Chatwin is also like in Weeds. Oh, Justin Chatwin is also in Orphan Black. If that helps you watch it.
King.
Yes, and like the way that his character is, you can sort of imagine that it's just Jimmy Steve. Like it's great. It's great.
Jimmy Steve.
But there is an entire greenhouse full of weed in this basement, which is why the electric bill was up to $8,000.
Honestly, shout out to Ethel's fertilizer.
Yeah, because Ethel is downstairs in the basement tending to the crops.
Yeah, she's just like watering them, and I was like, I love you.
She's like, isn't it wonderful? Kevin is going to help all of the old people with glaucoma. Sure, that's what he's doing it for.
Of course, exactly. What else would you be using it for?
So Kev says they need to sell $9,000 worth of weed, or the building's power is going to get shut off. And then we go to Frank. He is panhandling with Liam on like one of those backpack thingies on the side of the road to try to make. He's panhandling to make $10,000. I don't
like, bruh, panhandling for 10 grand.
And but he unfortunately walks up to the SUV that he got thrown out of before, and the men grab him and pull him into the SUV again. And
He's so fucking stupid.
We go from that back to the cash and grab. The person who came in before in the full covering is leaving. His veil slips, and we see it's like a grown man, who was in the full covering.
Because that covering is traditionally only worn by females, like, correct?
Yes, so I believe this man is wearing it so that he could be on the down low and go in and out without being recognized by anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably because he is also closeted. So Cash follows the guy out and like is all disheveled, and he snaps at Ian to get back to work, and Ian's just like casually like, your fly is down.
Like, Ian's like, fuck you, dude. Like, I ain't taking shit.
Yeah, so like at least he's not fucking a child anymore, but he's still being a bitter little bitch to his teenage.
Yeah, at least you're not a pedophile anymore.
But like still being a little bitch about it to your ex-boyfriend who is also your teenaged employee. Honestly, I love Linda for keeping Ian on because it's just making Cash sad, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, because like I feel like realistically, like Ian was in the wrong too, but Linda knew like he's the victim.
Yeah, he was clearly groomed. Like, even if he's strong enough to get over it, he was groomed. But we go back to the weed basement. Kev and Lip are, like, staring it down and figuring out their options. And Lip says he might know a guy who would throw down $2,000 for a weed plant. And Kev says V is going to kill him. He promised he wouldn't grow more than a few plants this year, but everything grew so beautifully, he just couldn't stop it. So anyway, Frank is kidnapped.
Yeah.
The guys are demanding the money Frank owes them and says that if he doesn't give it to them, they're going to start chopping off appendages. And then they say, while Frank goes out to procure it, the men will keep Liam as collateral. And like,
this is how Frank gets himself involved with the worst people.
Like, obviously this is terrible. He's a small child being used as collateral, but to their credit, these guys like take pretty good care of Liam. Like, they don't mistreat him.
Oh yeah. They hang out with this kid, like, the scenes that it cuts to later, but it's just, like, so cute. They're just, like, hanging out with them.
Yeah, they're just chilling. They're just playing with the kids. So, like, yeah, they shouldn't keep a child as collateral, but, like, they're also not being bad people to the child. Frank made a bet he needs to pay up, and they're gonna keep Liam and take care of him. They're basically babysitters.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
That charged 10 grand.
Yeah. To his credit, Frank at least tries to fight them on it and be like, wait, that's my son. You can't just keep my son. And tries to get them to, like, not keep Liam until they take a blowtorch to his foot. And he's like, okay, fine. You can keep Liam. And he, like, at least seems genuinely concerned and promises
Yeah.
Liam that he will be back.
He tells the baby, "I'll be back."
But, like, honestly, at least we know for our own well-being that Liam's gonna be fine with these guys. Anyway, Lip is at the college he toured a few months ago with the professor who caught him cheating on the SATs. And someone on YouTube informed me that this is not the professor that Lip ends up. Sorry, spoiler alert. Yes, okay. That Lip.
The professor
This
with
is
the
not Professor Ewens who Lip ends up
Gotcha,
naming.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Because I forget Professor Ewens, I think it's, like, Fred Ewens,
yeah,
and that's why there's baby Freddy. But,
yeah.
okay, cool. Because I remember it almost looks like the same person, but it's not, and it was just, like, they really don't the current, like, college guy, they really don't give him, like, a out. It's just kinda like, "Here's Ewens."
Yeah. But Lip is back at the college with that professor. He gives the guy a USB drive full of, like, hip, fun music so that he can get laid by grad students who are at least 22, so it's creepy, but it's not illegal. Like, at least it's college girls this guy's going for.
Yeah, at least he's not going for high schoolers.
Yeah. Lip gets a piece of tech from the guy that helps him finish a GPS system that is a cop locator that he's going to put in the ice cream truck to know what cops are in the area while he's selling beer and weed to young kids.
They are so smart!
Lip is so smart! And the guy is, like, honestly impressed by this, but he's like, was that legal? And Lip's like, trying to make sure our community is receiving its fair share of law enforcement resources? Why not? You smooth talker, you. So he asks the professor if he wants the pot plant. The professor says that he got a Department of Defense grant and asks Lip for his help with a project and said he can, like, get Lip college credits. But Lip declines, even though, like, Lip, do that. Fucking do
Let's
that.
do it, good.
Back to Debbie Daycare. Frank is in the kitchen making fake cocaine with baby laxative so that he can sell to idiots for money. And Debbie's like, where the fuck is Liam? And Frank's like, he's in the car. It's a friend's car. And she's like, yeah, he's in a running car with the air conditioning on? You left a baby in a running car in this neighborhood. So, like, even if he had Liam in the car, she'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Also, Carl is there. Anyway.
He's always just there.
He came up on my For You page the other day, and I was like, not me
Same.
finding Ethan's TikTok. Oh, back to the ice cream truck. It's up and running. They got it up and running pretty fast. It pulls up to a baseball game. It was like within a day. It pulls up to a baseball game.
Yeah, they fix that thing so fast.
We learn the rules of the truck. They sell American beer here to children who are of age. Come back when you are 16. Apparently, you have to be 14 with ID to get weed. And they also take bets on Little League games.
I love that. I love it.
I love that they're like, yeah, we're selling beer and weed to teenagers, but we at least, like, monitor which teenagers we're selling it to.
Yeah, it's not just anyone.
Yeah. And, like, in a later episode, they're also like, nah, you've had 2 already. No more until you get hair on your pits. Like,
Kev knows how to cut someone off.
yeah. I respect it. I respect the game. Karen jumps up in the truck. She's joining them. Apparently she's helping them. We learn about Jody. He is teaching her about bands she's never heard of, like Guns N' Roses. And Kev takes that personally.
Yeah, I would too.
We learn that Jody is 33, but Karen and Jody don't fuck. But her and Lip still can, if they want to.
I hate that.
So, like, Karen and Jody are just good friends going through the sex addicts program together. And, like, yes, this could come across as predatory, but like we said, we believe Karen to be 18 at this point, and I think Jody's the kind of man.
So.
I think Jody's the kind of man who would check too. Jody is a good man, and we love and respect Jody in this household.
Yeah, Karen ruins Jody.
Yeah, but Lip's little homemade cop alarm goes off, so they close up the truck and they peel out of there. over to Frank on the street. He tries to sell the fake cocaine to a kid, and the kid says, "Not a fucking chance, Frank. I still owe you a beating from last time." This is like a 12-year-old. He tries some other kids, and like a woman gives him the side eye for trying to talk to children, and she starts following him, and then so does a cop. And then Frank goes to the wrong corner to try and sell and gets chased away by, like, obviously a gang that owns that corner.
Yeah.
I just got done watching The Wire, so that was very meta for me. We're back at the Gallagher house. Debbie wakes Fiona up for parent pickup time and fills her in that Frank has taken Liam. And Fiona is too sleepy to fully take that in. But so she's just like,
okay.
Learns that information, is like, let me get through parent pickup time and then I will process what you just said to me. And then we see Frank. He's all like buttoned up and nice. And he goes into a bar called the Manhole. It is a gay bar that apparently knows who he is. He points to a guy, the bartender points out a guy to Frank, and we find out Frank is pimping himself out to get the money for Liam.
To men, too.
Why do I kind of respect this?
Honestly, money is money.
And like, he's they're paying for the privilege of sucking his dick is what's happening. Why do I kind of respect this?
Honestly, he gotta hustle too.
And like, he's genuinely doing what he can to get Liam back. This is like the best version of a good person out of Frank that we're ever gonna get. This is the peak. I realize it's a low bar, but
it's a very low bar.
Frank walks out after the first guy and he's got a line of customers. And like, whoa, I can't believe that many people want to pay for that privilege, but okay. Fiona comes downstairs. She has apparently been checking up on where Liam and Frank are. She's making phone calls. And she finds that Liam is not at Sheila's house. But while Fiona's figuring that out, Jasmine comes in the back door. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
She tries to hook Fiona up with another guy. And then she fucking shoos Debbie out of the conversation. This is not your house.
Yeah, not your sister, not your nothing. Don't tell Debbie what to do.
And then Jasmine says her friend is just Fiona's type. He's cute and easily manipulated. Fuck you.
Interesting.
And in the cold light of day outside of the bar, Fiona seems like a little turned off by like what Jasmine's doing and all of Jasmine's suggestions. And Jasmine, when did we switch from you trying to fuck Fiona to you trying to pimp Fiona out to
Yeah, she's trying to get her to get with all these random guys, but like literally like 2 episodes ago, bitch was trying to get in Fiona's pants.
Like, did the writers just realize this was too gay to function? Like, what? Anyway, speaking of too gay to function, Ian is just chilling. He's reading a magazine at work when the person in the full covering, I think this is the same day, so this is twice in the same day that this happens. Person in the full covering comes in like before, and then comes out of the freezer and heads to the door, and Cash comes out after them. And Cash, so this is twice in one day, so it's either the same person twice or 2 different people that snuck in to fuck Cash, who, like, knows his wife has cameras. I don't understand. But so Cash won't even answer Ian when Ian tries to leave work because he's too tired of crying like a little bitch baby. And he says he can't live a lie anymore, and he tries to go to Ian for comfort, but that shoulder, she's icy. That's cold.
She ain't what you're crying mood.
That's a cold shoulder. And like, listen, no one should have to live a closeted life. Like, Mickey's closeted storyline breaks my heart in half.
Mm-hmm.
No one should have live a closeted life or feel like their life is a lie, but you fucked a 15-year-old who worked for you. You've got no rights.
And he's still cheating on his wife, so we don't care.
You've got no rights, Cash. Nope, once you crossed that teenager line, I don't give a fuck about you anymore.
Yeah, I don't want you anymore.
Back at the club, it's only our second V sighting of the episode, and she's right back where we found her 30 minutes, also, I guess, a full day ago. She's behind the bar. Jasmine and the old man have apparently been together for years, even though they're both married. And V's like, yeah, her husband and his wife probably super love that arrangement. That's probably great for them. And then she points out that Fiona's rebound even looks like Steve. I love Veronica. She also apparently didn't know that Fiona used to run track and almost broke the record of 5 minutes and 25 seconds for a mile. We learn that from the man, and then Fiona gets very annoyed by all of this, like, what if? What if I got to finish high school? What if I got to run the mile? What if? She gets annoyed by it and blows the guy off and ignores V and goes back to work. Back at the Gallagher house, Ian and Lip have brother check-in time. First one of the season, little brother check-in time.
Good, as they should.
Lip says they got the truck running, and all Ian says is that work was weird. Work was weird
Yeah,
today.
work was weird for that boy today.
And Ian gets in the shower, and while he's showering, Lip is like, I think he's like looking for a lighter in Ian's bag or something, and he finds a West Point mission packet and goes in and interrupts Ian's shower and fucking screams at him.
Yeah, literally like pulls back the shower curtains. Like, what you doing?
Apparently Ian just graduated the 10th grade and is thinking about doing West Point, and Lip is super against it. Me too, Lip. Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Ian says he's a fucking patriot.
Shut the fuck up, Ian.
And then Ian's like, gets all deflated and basically says he's too stupid to get in, that he needs a recommendation from the president, and that all he knows he can pass is the fitness test. Sorry, fact check. I actually have family members that are in West Point. You don't need a recommendation from the president. I think it is possible to get one. You don't need one. You need one from your state senator. I know that because there was a whole like kerfuffle with my cousins because he moved at the time. It was a whole thing. And
I feel like this also could just be Ian exaggerating, being like, I need a fucking recommendation from the president, I am blah blah blah.
Yeah. But I think they only said that so that Lip once he finds out that Ian is like belittling himself because he thinks he's not smart enough, Lip like turns soft and he's like, wait, but my brother is absolutely smart enough to get in here if he wants to. So Lip gets all soft and brotherly and offers to tutor Ian. And then he goes, the president's a local boy because Obama was from Chicago, because Obama was president. Remember when Obama was president?
When Obama was president.
Like, we're not going to pretend it was a perfect world, but my God, it was better than this.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wear a mask to go to work. Oh God, Obama, we miss you, Obama. So yeah, he's like, the president's a local boy. We could probably get his recommendation. It's very cute. So like, once Lip is like, doesn't want Ian to be self-deprecating anymore, he's like, fine, I will help you. I will help you figure this out. They tease each other, and we go back to the playful mood, and I love brothers. V enters her and Kev's house, and there is weed everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Kev is hanging it all up and trying to dry it all out with a hairdryer, and with
the hairdryer is what gets me.
And V is pissed. V is pissed. She goes to the greenhouse, and V's like, we have to get rid of this. She says, there's a couple of tons of weed down here, and I'm black. V knows. V's like, we have to get this shit the fuck out of here and away from us, and it has to be mulched by tomorrow. We cut from that. We see Frank coming home to Sheila, and he's like all worried that he did not make enough money to get Liam back. And Sheila's like, I can give you $80. And Lip's like, that's not gonna help. Or Ian or Frank is like, that's not gonna help. Give it to me, but that's not gonna help that much. And she was super worried about him. And he said he thinks he really screwed up this time. Like, the most human, like I said, that we ever see him. Meanwhile, the men who have Liam are taking great care of him, like we said. They're watching Animal Planet, they're playing Airplane.
Yeah, they're just chilling with the baby. Like, they're having a good time.
Liam's chilling. But when Fiona comes home from work and Debbie says Frank did not bring Liam back, Fiona gets furious, because where is the child?
Yeah, where's the baby at?
So she goes over to Sheila's and, like, is pounding on the door. And Sheila answers it, and Fiona's got the bat. Fiona's got the family bat. All the Gallaghers charge inside.
They're all there.
They wake Frank up and demand to know where Liam is. And Frank says Liam's at his first sleepover. Like, Fiona's like, he's 2. So we learn Liam is 2.
He's 2.
Which is what
still isn't talking.
Which is what I think we suspected. We cut over that iconic shot.
This shot is so cool, and
it's like the green hallway with like the flickering light and like a cool Dutch angle of all of the Gallaghers led by Fiona just storming into this apartment building. It's like, if you haven't seen it, like, if you know anything about Shameless, you've seen this shot in GIF form.
Yeah, they've used this shot in like a lot of promos and everything. Like, it's such a good scene.
And they're storming into this apartment building of the men who have Liam, and Karen is there. I guess because they were at her house. Karen and Frank are there. How did they know where they live? We don't care. It's a great shot.
Yeah, they got there somehow.
The guy answers the door with a fucking shotgun to Fiona's face. And he says they're keeping Liam. And Fiona straight up says, well, then you better start shooting. And pushes past the man with a gun to her face and goes in his house to get Liam.
I love her.
That's a mom
Powerful.
move. That's a mom. She's like, oh, you got a gun to my face? My kid is in there. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, bro.
It's delicious. It's so good. All the Gallaghers and Karen empty their pockets out because they know Frank owes this guy money. And Fiona says, Gallaghers pay their debts. And she like the pure, like the energy, the don't fuck with my children energy that is radiating from her body scare this man enough to hand Liam back to her.
Yeah, good. She has that power. They knew not to fuck with that bitch.
Because the next thing we know, Fiona is tucking him into bed, and all of the Gallaghers are like kissing Liam goodnight, saying goodnight to him. That's really cute. Debbie apologizes for letting Frank walk off with Liam, and Fiona assures her it is not her fault, and she kisses her goodnight and leaves the room. Fiona goes downstairs to Frank, and he tries in his Frank way to like apologize for what happened, because like we said, he showed genuine remorse through this episode.
Mm-hmm. He knew he fucked up, but he still fucked up.
Yeah. She just stares him down. She opens the back door, like she did when he came back from Canada after he hit Ian. She just opens the back door and slams it in his face and pushes him out.
Good.
Frank wanders down the stairs and out to the backyard. The next morning, Ian walks into work at the Cash and Grab, takes a donut, and watches the counter as Cash follows the same person into the cooler again. And then we see Ian, like a homeless man comes in with like plastic bottles that I guess he trades in, because you can trade in plastic bottles for money. So I guess he can trade them in there to pay for the bottle of booze that he's getting. And Linda calls over the intercom for Cash. It's like a very quiet like scene that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Ian goes over to the freezer to get Cash and like lets the homeless man leave. And then Cash, the covered man comes out of the freezer, and then Cash also in the full covering.
This is what I was talking about. I got ahead of myself.
Yes. Cash in the full covering comes out and says Linda has to be on bed rest for the rest of her pregnancy, and he can't handle it. So he asks Ian to buy him time while he abandons his family. And Ian asks,
this guy.
Ian asks, what do I tell your kids? And then Cash just fucking leaves.
He just dips with the other guy.
And I remembered after when I was watching the scene, there is a deleted scene from this episode of Ian going into Linda and Cash's house and telling Linda that Cash left. And Linda is like crying on his shoulder and he like comforts her. And like, I understand because of everything that happened in this episode. This is like the one scene that I understand why they cut it out. But it would also go to show why Linda would then show a little bit of leniency toward Ian, a little bit of like affection toward Ian that she does for the rest of the series, because like he like holds her while she cries because her husband abandoned her.
Her horrible, disgusting, gross husband, but still her husband.
If you guys go to look up season 2 deleted scenes, or if you have the DVD, like this is a great deleted scene.
I'll have to look it up. I feel like I definitely probably saw it in passing, but I never like genuinely watched it and like actually thought about it.
Yeah. Like, I won't give it away, but Linda does Ian a favor in the next episode, and this scene would explain why she would have done him that favor. It's a really beautiful scene that we didn't get to see, but so Cash abandons his family. And after that happens, V walks over to the Gallagher back porch. She needs field hands because of the crop of weed in the alibi basement. So they all join together in the greenhouse to cut down the weed plants. And Fiona fills V in on what the fuck Frank just did. And that they had to blow all the money they've been saving for the winter to these fucking guys. And they're still $6,000 in the hole.
So they only got $4,000 saved up, and they're still $6,000 short. That fucking sucks.
Yeah. And V says that Lip can keep a bag of weed to get the truck through the summer. And then Fiona just pulls out puppy dog eyes, like hugging a plant. And V's like, yeah, you can have that. And Kev tries to pull the same shit, and she's like, not you, Johnny Appleseed. A lot of great lines in this episode. Kev brings the bags of weed out to the back alley to his truck, but like while he's alone in the back alley near the dumpster, he stashes one of them away.
Icon.
With the rest of the trash for himself later. And then all the Gallaghers leave, and Kev says it seems like a waste because all of the bags are piled in the back of his truck. He says it seems like a waste to just throw it all in the dump. And then we practically see a cartoon light bulb appear over his head when V's like, you got another idea? It was like a cartoon. We go over to the Jackson house. Lip walks up the porch to see Karen and meets Jody as he works on his bike outside. And they're both wearing black tank tops. And so Jody notices that and says, nice shirt. Jody is funny, y'all. We love Jody. I'm telling y'all to watch Black Sails. This man is magnificent. Jody will grow to be y'all's favorite character, ranking up in Mickey territory. I fucking promise you. We go over to the auto shop of the men who took Liam. Again, how did Fiona know where this was? Fiona straight up walks in, plops the trash bag full of the entire weed plant on the table and says, that should about do it, and then walks out.
Power move.
She's like, oh, I owe you $6,000. Here's an entire weed plant. That should do it.
It's a trash bag full.
And Frank is just waking up and walking downstairs the next afternoon at Sheila's house. And she says she's not a short order cook, honey. And he missed breakfast and lunch. He can eat some cereal while she goes out for her walk.
Good. Take care of yourself, fuck you, Frank.
Fuck you. And we go from that over to Kevin V's backyard, where Kev, behind the garden, is digging a hole to bury his trash bags full of weed. Remember a cop lives next door? That only cop in Chicago? Tony.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't live there.
Tony comes walking up from behind Kev and starts complimenting Ethel on her garden and trying to get tips from her on gardening while standing on a baggie of Kev's weed. And Kev is standing in the hole trying to yank the bag out from under his foot like a cartoon.
It's such a funny moment.
And then Tony walks away and Kev frantically buries the rest of the weed and goes oh hey Tony, how you doing?
Oh, there's Tony.
What did Tony think he was burying trash bags of?
It was such a deep hole because Kev was in the hole. So I have no fucking clue. Tony's just minding his own business.
And Kev was a big man. That was at least 3 feet deep, that hole. But that happens, and then we go over to the high school track where we see Fiona and Debbie walk into the high school track. Debbie confirms the 5 minutes, 23 seconds time, and Fiona says she'll be happy with anything under 6, because Fiona is in full running gear. So Fiona sets up, kicks off her run, and then we see her run around the track as the happy music that ends this episode.
It's so cute. It's just her run. These montages of her just running are probably the most purest we see her in a lot of the series.
And Fiona doing,
and we get 2 of them in 1 episode.
Fiona doing something for herself that's just a healthy, you know what? Let me see if I can still run that 5-minute mile. Good for you, baby. I love you. And as she runs off into the sun, into the afternoon sun, we fade to credits. And the after credit scene is like the opening scene in the first episode of the first season, but with a twist.
Mm.
They unload Kev's truck onto a bonfire in the neighborhood and set a pile of weed on fire to get the whole neighborhood high.
That isn't how it works. I love their effort and I love the dedication, but that's just a waste. That's just gonna stank up the neighborhood. Definitely you could probably get secondhand smoking if you definitely were trying to vibe with that, but just a bonfire of weed. I know what weed smells like. That shit would not be fun to be engrossed by.
And why wouldn't the cops be it smells like someone set a pile of weed on fire?
Yeah, literally. There's a random giant fire happening. There's a lot of people. It smells like weed. Sorry, Tony's off the clock tonight. We don't have a thing. I'm sorry, do you hear my dog barking?
It's all fine. It's fine.
Okay, good. She's angry. I don't know why.
We're in the after credits scene. It's fine. There are little kids at this bonfire too. Liam's there, Carl is there.
I love summer seasons. Summer seasons just add so much more chaotic levels to scenes, and it makes it all the better.
And I looked it up. The song that plays at the end is "No Place I'd Rather Be" by the band The Light Brigade. And
nice.
It's great. What a lovely first episode.
What a really good setup for season 2. I feel I really, really enjoy season 2, so I'm really excited to go through it.
I think highlight so far of season 2 is that's the last time we ever see Cash Kareem.
Snaps for that.
I think it's probably because the actor went to do Bones. He was in Bones for like 6 seasons. But like, bye-bye. Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
sir.
We don't need you anymore. You're not relevant to the plot anymore.
So we met the new Mandy.
New Mandy.
For like a minute and a half, we met the new
Yeah.
Mandy. We find out that Mickey's getting out soon. We find out Frank is still up to his old tricks, and Sheila is making her way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and she's alibi bound.
Ian wants to go to West Point.
Lip and Kev have a side hustle. Debbie runs a daycare.
Liam's 2 years old but still doesn't know how to speak or walk.
Yes. Fiona is working her ass off and having a little summer fling and like trying to get in touch with herself again, trying to pull things into herself.
Ethel has a garden.
V is V.
V was there for 3 scenes.
V's around and keeping everybody alive and together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the episode. Oh, and Jody. We met Jody.
Jody. Oh, Jody, yes.
God bless King
He
Jody.
he becomes more relevant in later episodes. He was just like, he was a teaser for who we're getting introduced to him, really.
It was our introduction to Jody. But yeah, and like I said, the song at the end, No Place I'd Rather Be by the Light Brigade. I'm going to start appreciating, like, ever since Lena pointed it out in one of our previous episodes, I wanted to start appreciating the music in the show more. So yeah, I'm going to start appreciating the music.
There's one song that I got from an end credit scene in like I want to say like season 4, season 5 that I am obsessed with, and I need to figure out what specific episode that's from so I can make a note of it because it's so good.
We'll hit it and you'll be like, that one. It was that one.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, like I like made a note of all like the important Ian and Mickey songs throughout the series, but like Pink and White and Movie Like You Stole It. But like I want to start making note of like all of because this show has really cool music.
Yeah, they use some like key songs in a lot of moments that like really like develop it almost, but more like subtextual because it's just a song playing.
Yeah. Look, how about a question to our listeners? What is a song from the show that like you added to a playlist and is now like your forever song? Or like
let me find the name of the song that I'm talking about. The song's called All You Leave Behind. Let me see who it's by.
I feel like I know that song.
It's by Ross Tones, Hannah Cartwright on the Witch House album.
I feel like I'll hear it and it'll flash me to a scene. Yeah, that's another thing for our listeners. Like, what is a song that you hear that'll flash you to a scene in Shameless and keep you there? Because that happens to me all the time. That's like how I hear music, is I hear it and I'm like, oh, it's from that movie and that TV show, and that's what I think of when I hear that song. Like, Glee did that to us with every time we hear a song, we're like you start hearing Rumor Has It, and you put Someone Like You with it in your head because all you can hear is the mashup version. So much
the fact that happens to me so much.
Yeah, I want to hear from our listeners. I want to hear that's what I want to put that question to our listeners. What is music from Shameless that has made its way into your everyday life? I really want to hear from you guys. And where can we hear from you guys, you ask? Well, you can comment, rate, and review on our YouTube, our Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher. And you can hit us up on Twitter at luckwehadpod, on Instagram at luckwehadpod. You can email us luckwehadpod@gmail.com.
Everywhere. You can find us everywhere.
You can hit up me, one of your co-hosts, Amanda, on at abnormalamanda on Twitter, at abnormalamanda on TikTok, on at abnormalamanda18 on Instagram. Links will be in the show notes below, as well as Evan's.
And you can find me at I wanna die 4000 on Instagram and TikTok. And then if you want to follow my Twitter, I'm not much active on there, but it's Internet Life Yo. Reach out to us if you want. Follow us on those social media platforms. And then you can find all of our links on our Instagram, our website, or just on any of the publishing platforms that we are on.
Yes, the link to our website, and it is in the show notes below. It's in our Instagram bio and in our Twitter bio. But everything that we just plugged will be in the show notes below. We want to hear from you. Please write us.
We want all the feedback.
Write us and review us, and buckle up, y'all. It is summertime.
Season 2.
It is pumpkin spice season in real life. It is summertime in Shameless life. And we'll start posting these in October. So whatever's happening in the world in October, we'll address it in a few episodes. But we are so excited to be back for season 2.
We are very excited.
Buckle up, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do season 2. But we'll see you guys all in a few weeks, in 2 weeks when we post our next episode. All right, thanks everybody.
Bye everyone.